How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another stream on Hackdroid Crypto. And today I'm going to be walking through the three stages, three stages to Bitcoin getting to $250,000 by 2022. So I quickly have on the background here, as you can see, the Bitcoin block reward halving countdown. This is a pretty funny website. And pretty informative as well as kind of funny just because it's so hyper-focused on the halving. So I'm going to put a link to this below, but let's dive right into what this means, each one of these kind of pieces, and then I'll go through the stages after I go through this. So total Bitcoins in circulation right now as of April 15th, 2018, 16,979,550. Total Bitcoins ever to be produced, 21 million. And just before we go down even further, the Bitcoin block mining reward halves every 210,000 blocks. The coin reward will decrease from 12.5 to 6.25. So it originally started at 50 coins were being rewarded per new block. As it was being minted, the coins were given to miners. And that was back when everything started, but it halves, and the amount of coins rewarded are given out every 210,000 blocks. Just kind of a high level perspective there. But reward, the drop ETA is the 30th of May 2020, and they even have a timer here of 116 and 0.07, which is kind of a crazy detailed amount there. The percentage, total coins mined, 80% are already mined. Total Bitcoins left to mine, 4,020,450. Total Bitcoins to mine until next block half, 1.3 million. At the time of this, the price is $8,300. Market capitalization is 141, what is that, billion? 141 billion, so actually relatively low. Bitcoins generated per day, 1,800. Bitcoin inflation rate per annum, 3.95%. So Bitcoin inflation rate per annum, the next halving event is 1.8%. So let's just kind of back up. What does all of this mean? Essentially, what we're looking at here is the story of how the halving is happening and how it has happened in the past. So every 210,000 blocks, there is going to be a halving event that takes place for the reward to miners. So as you can see at the top, what I said before was the amount that is rewarded to miners is halved, and it's cut in half. That's what the word means. So when this happens, that means that there's not only a scarcity involved with the amount of coins in circulation for miners, but that basically pumps the value up. So jumping over to this sort of, let's see if this showed up. Yeah, this kind of prediction here is 15,000 to 30,000 in the Thanksgiving spike of 2018. If you remember to last year's Thanksgiving spike, it was around a similar mark, but I think it was 12,000 to 17,000 during the Bitcoin spike in 2017. So this is sort of the stages of how the 250K could be reached, so backing into the number. And then the final kind of big push from 50K is the halving. So this year in 2018, the Thanksgiving spike is from 15K to 30K. And then in 2019, the Thanksgiving bull run, that's when people start really just similar to what happened in, I want to say it was September and October of 2017. The bull run is just an old terminology of the types of investors that are coming into the space. So That's probably your institutional money around that projection. And a lot of what Tim Draper had said was that the institutional money is being unlocked, like your George Soros and some of the bigger names. So that's kind of the highlighted part right there, is because once that run happens, it is going to be just kind of the next stage there. Hello from Slovenia. How's it going, Syndrome Vivo? Welcome. And hey, Skyrex Gaming, welcome to the stream. And the final blast here at the end is the 50K to 250K halving bull run in 2020. So I do think that end figure, the 250K, is going to be stretched, not necessarily in 2020. That's what I think McAfee has been saying. But yeah, the 2022 figure is more realistic in my opinion, just because the halving is scheduled for, as we saw here, it's scheduled for May. So I do think it's going to take a little bit of time to pick up the momentum after that, probably around a year or 2 years-ish. But yeah, I completely can see the time frame there and the basic path to reaching that. And I wanted to also jump into what the halving is for miners, just with my experience, my elementary experience with mining. Bitcoin halving and miners. Miners, as one can imagine, stand to be impacted the most when the next halving event takes place. In the white papers, Satoshi Nakamoto explains that the addition of Bitcoin comes at the expense of CPU, time, and electricity. Miners have special purpose pieces of hardware that are constantly running in a bid to discover the next block using a constant flow of electricity along the way. They make money when the revenue is generated. So according to Cointext, Bitcoin USD price index, the price of Bitcoin averaged $577 as of 12 p.m. Eastern on the 10th of June. And I think this article is from 2016. If the 420,000th block were to have been sealed with the market at that price, the amount of revenue denominated in US dollars that a miner could expect to receive would have fallen from 14,425 to 7,212 in an instant during the halving that took place. So it'll definitely be pretty impactful on miners, and you can kind of go through this article. This is a little bit outdated because it's going through the hash rate and approximately what it is to be mining Bitcoin, and it even goes through some of the bits about Litecoin. But overall, when this type of thing happens, the idea that it is a finite number here, they actually have the Bitcoin halving in the code, which is pretty cool. It's actually very cool. But when you start removing people from their capabilities to gain coins and you create a little bit of scarcity with this, that's why you saw before that there's Thanksgiving bull run and also the halving bull run. And the halving bull run is much bigger because when miners are able to gain less, there's going to be a lot of an influx of capital of people that are going to basically take advantage of the scarcity, because it's just basic supply demand here that we're talking about. It's not rocket science. It's basically, if there's 21 million total coins allowed or provided, that over time is going to create demand because there's some scarcity there. But another point that a lot of people talk about is with coin emissions, with things like Dash and other currencies, where in the U.S. economy you have people basically backing the U.S. dollar, where, with goods and services, which is a concern of something like Bitcoin, where you have to keep creating these coins to a certain extent, and there's not really much. It's almost like de-inflation, and de-inflation is a concept that just in basic economics is saying that it can often be the opposite of inflation, which a lot of arguments back and forth about the coin emissions of different currencies, but we digress. We were supposed to be talking about the Bitcoin bull runs and how we're going to reach 250K backing into it. So this is my kind of just high level three stages. This is what I think is going to happen. And this is very similar to a lot of people that are talking about the bull runs as well as the final halving piece that pushes up to the Draper prediction. But I do think that this 50K to 250 halving bull run is going to take a little bit more than 2020, and just because it's going to take some time just for everyone to kind of recalibrate after miners are getting half the reward when they discover a new block. That's just what happened in the previous halving, and it's what's going to happen again. Just basically understanding what happened in the past. So that's kind of it. That's what I wanted to go through, was the fact that the halving is going to cause the final run up to the 250K figure that everyone's been talking about. And a lot of people have been asking me questions about how it's even possible. So this line right here is all you need to really look at when you think of getting from $50,000 per to 250. It is the basic decrease in the reward to miners from 12.5 to 6.25. And that's how we get there, is through the halving. And it's very possible. This is an exciting countdown thing. I'm going to put the link below. And that's it for this stream. I'm going to be doing a couple more of these in the future based on requests. But don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next stream.